Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hey Hannah podcast. I am so excited to have, I think my first remote guest. So fun to say that. Kimmy Donaldson. Is it okay if I call you Kimmy?
You can definitely call me Kimmy. Yes, you were very much.
Okay, great. I had this thought. Kimmy is a long time friend. We met in our first big girl jobs together when we were, I want to say 23, 22. It was early aughts. And we were at Fox Sports, and Kimmy was known as Kimmy. Now, corporate girl, she's switched over to Kim. And, sometimes I'll go to events with you, and people will be like, oh, how do you know Kim? And I'm like, who's that?
I'm not familiar with this person, actually. I don't know her. Corporate Kim, which I think is really funny. So you can use that as well. It reminds me of a Kid Kelly type thing, It works.
Perfect. Yeah, corporate Kim. So the main reason I wanted to bring Kimmy on was because, well, obviously, she's one of my best friends and we talk all the time, but also because she is just 2 weeks ahead of me in pregnancy. So she's been the most fun to talk to about everything. And I think one of the greatest things that anyone can have in pregnancy is just all you need is one friend.
Definitely.
Who is experiencing pregnancy in a similar fashion, even within the same year, anything like that. It felt like the stars aligned when I called you and told you I was pregnant. I remember I was calling you when you were in Paris or something, and I kept trying to call you. You were like, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, it's fine. You're like, let me call you when I leave. I'm like, okay. But then lo and behold, I called to tell you I'm pregnant. You were so kind. You were like, wait, how far along are you? Oh, this is so exciting. And then you were like, okay, Hannah, sorry. So am I.
Well, I actually think you called to give me the full engagement story as well, because we had an initial FaceTime and I saw the ring and that kind of thing, but I haven't gotten the minute by minute breakdown, which of course I desperately needed. And then somewhere along the engagement story, maybe 30 seconds in, you're like, okay, I have to cut to the chase here. I have something to tell you. And I was trying so hard to not immediately be like, me too. It was like, listen to the story. Listen to the story. Well, that was one of my favorite phone calls ever. That was amazing. And
yeah, you were such a good friend.
Oh, I love it.
You should have immediately just been like, so am I.
I wasn't even planning to tell you on that call because I'm like, I have so much news to catch up on Hannah's life. I'll call her later and tell her about the pregnancy. But then those plans went out the window. We readjusted.
Okay, one of the things I wanted to start talking to you about, obviously we're going to get into the weeds of the first trimester and all of our thoughts and feelings about that. How are you feeling? How are you doing? What week are you?
I am good. I am at 27 weeks. I flip over to 28 on Thursday. I'm a Thursday gal. You're a Friday.
Yeah, I'm the Friday week change.
Great.
Yeah.
I like that. But it's good that we figured that out. So yeah, I am in the final days of my second trimester, which I'm hanging on to. But no, all in all, I feel pretty good. Second trimester has been a good one for me.
Good. I agree. I feel like second trimester has been glorious compared to first trimester.
Oh,
everybody was like, you'll feel like yourself again. We promise. And I was like, are you sure? Are you really sure?
Yeah, do you pray? Yeah, you absolutely have to pinky promise me on this because the first trimester you're in the trenches. We'll put it that way.
You're in the pits.
You're in the pit.
Yeah. Emotionally,
it's so true.
All of it. Okay. I'm going to get into that, but I wanted to talk to you quickly about some light chat because
Perfect.
You and I met early on in my TV career. You're still in sports because it was sports television that I was in. And you and I bonded early on over how much we just love television.
Love it's the best. It's the best.
It's the best. I just you and I remember coming over to your house, your little apartment, and you were like, Hannah, I just love TV. And I was like, thank you for saying that. I don't think enough people say it
no. We were talking about this recently when someone says I'm just not really a TV person. I don't really have time. I don't really watch anything. I'm like, you and I have very little in common. I watch everything. I love TV. It's my favorite way to unwind. And I feel from a pop culture perspective, it leads to so many conversations and it's just good to be in the know, I think.
Totally. Even in the sports world, if you could know just two things that happened that weekend in sports,
100%.
You were set in the corporate world.
That is, oh, that could not be more true. You're so right. These are very high level bullet points. But yeah, I am. Let's talk TV anytime. Call me anytime to talk.
Yeah, what are you watching right now? What got you through first trimester? And I want to know if you're saving anything for postpartum because I have that mentality of
That
like,
is so
I
wise.
should be saving a show to binge.
Oh, that's so wise. Okay, I'm going to adopt that. Love that idea. Okay, right now I'm watching Landman, which I'm a little late to the game on that, obvious.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my god. Watch it. It's like Billy Bob Thornton, Michelle Randolph.
Okay.
You've probably seen it on TikTok. It's like all through my algorithm.
Michelle Randolph is Glenn Powell's new girl.
Yes, exactly. This is why you need to watch TV to be up on the
Okay.
what's going on in pop culture. Would recommend. It's a great show for you and Peter to watch together. Okay, I like when you have like shows where the guy and girl are both gonna like them. But
There's two categories of TV, and you're right. One is for the couples, and one is for like solo dolo.
Solo dolo, and then my solo dolo show that I'm rewatching, and it is glorious, is Nashville, which is now on Netflix. Have you watched that? When is the last time you watched Connie Britton as Rita James in Nashville? That is my question.
Oh my God. I haven't watched it since it aired. Hayden Panettiere was really like, she was on another level when that show came out, and then she disappeared again.
She disappeared. It's so good. I watch it with like an open mouth smile, and somehow I remember all the music like a psychopath. I'm like, this is like, what's going on in my brain right now? I can't remember anyone's name, but like, I've got all the lyrics to every single Deacon Claiborne Nashville song. It's crazy. But I would like
Claiborne.
No, I know.
God, this is bringing me back. That's actually such a good one to rewatch. Luke from the OC is in that show. What's his name again? In Nashville?
I'm trying to think of.
Do you remember?
Yep. It's on the tip of my tongue. He's the cowboy.
That's okay.
He's like,
Yes.
yeah.
He plays like a lovable, nice guy, which is funny because in the OC, he's not the most likable character at first. Anyways, the OC is ingrained in my brain. That was a show that I was considering rewatching postpartum.
But maybe Nashville. Maybe I've influenced you on this one.
You always love those heartthrob dramas.
It was like a drama. Like, count me in. Yeah, that's right up my alley.
Speaking of though, did you watch the one I just started it and everyone has been talking about how good this show is and I was like, okay, I have to get into it because everyone's talking about it. It's called All Her Fault. It's on Peacock. Have you seen it?
Oh no, but that's with Sarah Smook, right? No, it's on my list.
Okay, hot take is that I think it's pretty bad.
No, okay, this is good to know.
Easy to watch, and all that being said, I still want to see what happens. Like, I need to know what happens in the show. It's about a missing child, which is like trigger warning for pregnant.
Yeah, somebody told me that, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll hint into the back of the list. Like, that freaks me out a little bit.
Totally. Like, it doesn't immediately pique my interest, but I was just bored, and I was like, let me start it.
Yeah.
And just to say this, I don't think it has anything to do with the child. I actually think the child's probably fine. I'm only in the third episode, and I don't know anything yet, but I think that it's just like a mess of adults stuff. And that's really what it is. So the child is almost like irrelevant.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one you should watch because it's like right up your alley. It just reminds me of like an old CW drama.
Oh, yep. If it's CW related in. And then I'm saving, I think, now that you've given me that suggestion 30 seconds ago, maybe I'll see Emily in Paris because that is definitely a solo dolo show. Adam does not get behind. My husband does not get behind watching Emily in Paris with me. But my celebrity crush, Brian Greenberg, is on the show this season, which, as we know, thrilling for me. Thrilling. I love him.
I remember going to an event with you. Where were we? Where we were at it was a tennis event.
Yeah.
And Brian Greenberg was there. And you were like, Hannah, I have to go up to him and get Kimmy and I are,
I'm sorry.
Kimmy and I are anti photos with people. Like, we always talk about this of like, Beyonce could be in the room, Taylor Swift, anyone. I will never, ever, ever, like, for the sake of trying to be normal around,
Totally.
People of importance, I will stare at them like, wow, I want to see their outfit in person. Otherwise, moving on. But Brian Greenberg comes into this party and it's like, Kimmy's like, beeline. She's like, Hannah, you have to come with me. And I was like, oh my God. He's good friends with one of my colleagues. And the next day, I remember she asked me about that. She was like, what was that about? Your friend taking a photo? And I was like,
okay.
Yeah, I was like, it's just a thing.
Unfortunately, so that moment was great. He was so nice. We did do a small photo shoot together, which I cherish deeply in my heart. But he, unfortunately, I ran into him since then like three
Oh, yeah.
times, and it was all within like a maybe like a month period. So I saw him at the U.S. Open, I saw him at like some benefit, and it got to a point where like I would hide because I'm like, is he going to think that I'm stalking him? Like his has this hit a point where like I made way too big of a deal of it when we first met, and now like I can't go back and then play it cool. So
So
well, if
funny.
you're listening, Brian Greenberg, I am not stalking you, I promise. But I will. I am very excited about you being on Emily in Paris.
That's a good celebrity crush. Okay, Emily in Paris, by the way, I've never seen. So maybe that's one that I should watch.
Very fun.
It just seems a little too like chummy for me. I don't know if I could do that.
It'll be good for postpartum. I think that's what we need.
Yeah, that is true. I do need like a safe postpartum one. I was considering rewatching Gilmore Girls. Oh, this is Kimmy, your one flaw in life is that you don't watch anything on Bravo.
I know, but it's not because I want to just make sure this is clear. It's not because I think I am above it. It's because I know I'd be obsessed with it. Like I would lose myself in it, and I know that about myself, and I just haven't let myself go down that road. Maybe postpartum is the time.
If you want to dip your toe, I would tell you exactly where to start. And this is anyone. If
Right.
anyone's like, I don't know where to start in the Bravo world, it depends if you want to do Housewives or not. I think one of the best shows to get into it for people in their 30s is to watch Southern Charm because it's about people in their 30s
I like
who live in Charleston. It's very relatable. You like to look at everyone's sort of behavior, their outfits, their style. It's sort of like hookup culture centric,
okay.
which is just so mindless. But the Housewives is more fun because it's just ridiculousness. I mean, it all is. But anyways, if you want to get into it, I recommend Southern Charm postpartum from the beginning would be so fun. But then also Beverly Hills season 5, Lisa Rinna season is the perfect place to
You're
start.
gonna have to text me some episodes, and I'll do it.
Okay.
Hannah has taken me to Watch What Happens Live. So you've given me the hookup. So I feel like and every time I was like, I'm not worthy of this because I'm not a real Bravo person. But I feel like starting with being in the crowd at Watch What Happens Live due to my bestie Hannah, and then going into watching could actually be an interesting for
Yeah.
this. So I'll report back.
Do you remember who the guests were that day? I
Jerry
remember.
O'Connell was one. I love him too.
Oh yeah, Jerry O'Connell. He's great.
He was so
He's
funny.
like a legend. He's everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Okay, let's dive into some of the first trimester woes. I also want to know what snacks you're dealing with right now. What snacks you're craving? What was something that you were craving in the first trimester? Has that changed? Are you still craving it?
I have been first trimester. I'll start by saying I was pretty sick. And I would wake up feeling brutally hungover until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it would go away, but I'd have to kind of get myself to like, later in the afternoon, and then I'd be better.
Yeah.
So I did like the snacking all day thing. So I did a lot of like little Ziploc bags of Cheerios, Cheez-Its, Triscuits, that kind of like salty snack.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, my little snack cravings, I have become obsessed with Honeycrisp apples. Actually, my team at work is giving me a hard time. Like, not a subtle snack, by the way. Not something you could be on a store, like subtly snacking on. So I'm eating a lot of apples. I'm eating a lot of clementines. And then just like, anything that's salty and small and I can put in a Ziploc, I'm doing a lot of that.
Wait, that's so cute that those are your
I like things that a kindergartner might enjoy. I too will enjoy throughout first trimester and beyond. That's a
Yeah, you're like Cheerios, apple, clementine. That's all very sweet.
yeah.
The fruit is a real thing. The fruit has been such a big craving in the beginning. I was eating grapefruits a lot in my first trimester.
That sounds amazing. I have not had a grapefruit, but now I will. That sounds like an incredible treat. Yes.
My problem is my sugar intake is through the roof. Every sweet treat in the world I want. I now watch videos of people eating donuts on TikTok. I feel like that's not normal.
You've been a donut gal though, so I feel like it's probably just taking your donut love and taking it to the next level. Ice cream has been that for me. I could eat ice cream any time of the day, any day. I'm typically more of a salty person, but I definitely am more into desserts than I've been in the past. But first trimester, anything dairy wasn't really working for me. So it was a lot of salty, small snacks.
Okay, so you talked about being sick. Because I don't remember. Were you actually vomiting?
Not one time, which was really interesting.
Okay.
And a few times I thought to myself, like, I think that would really help, but I never did.
Yeah.
But I was feeling I mean, I would best describe it as like when you have a hangover and it's like that headache, the nausea, you know,
Yes.
like kind of feeling body achy pretty much every morning for starting at about around 6 weeks pregnant.
I felt the exact same way. I too did not actually vomit, and I felt like, gosh, that would make this better if
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
just, which sounds crazy. Um, but I say that with caution because I know there's so many women who were so sick and
Absolutely.
really struggled, even deep into their second, third trimesters have struggled with the nausea. So I'm so grateful that I didn't actually, but at the same time, there's this like weird taboo thing of like, if you didn't vomit, it's like, oh, well, then you were one of the lucky ones. And I'm like, no, I still felt like crap.
No, I felt the same way though because I had I know you too. Like we have friends that couldn't keep anything down, and I didn't have that problem. And then also, once I got past about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, totally fine. Felt fine. Could eat pretty normally. Like I had aversions, but nothing crazy. So I felt fortunate. But that being said, I don't know how so many women that I have been friends with or worked with throughout my 20s were pregnant and dealing with this in their first trimester, and I just had no idea. I knew
Yeah.
it was that bad, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh," I was like the worst colleague or the worst friend, and,
Yeah.
it's just I mean, it was much harder than I thought it would be first trimester.
Yeah. I felt similarly. I was like, I want to go back to every time I've had an interaction with a woman in
Yes,
trimester.
that is so yes, that's well said.
And give her, like, just another minute of grace. Because
Mm.
I think I would, because like, anytime a woman says she's pregnant, you're like, "Oh my gosh, how are you feeling? No, you should sit down," like, whatever. But I didn't actually know. That was just, like, stuff that I was taught that how you should handle a pregnant woman. The pregnancy brain, well, okay, I can't even get into that. Was there anything that you were, like, you kept in your car, like, that you felt was, like, a sort of unhinged snack that you had regularly?
You know, it I mean, it's so, cliche almost, but, like, pickles, olives, like, anything, like, salty like that, like, anything that could be a garnish for a martini, I'm yes, like, the very, very into that. But no, I honestly, it was a lot of fruit, it was a lot of those, like, small snacks that I mentioned. I didn't have any cravings that felt really out of the blue for me.
Yeah.
The only exception to that, and I keep seeing this, I now this is, like, my whole TikTok algorithm, but, I see now that, like, women have this, like, craving for their husbands. Like, it's like my number one craving is, like, my baby's dad, which I have
Mhm.
actually really experienced. Like, I'm an affectionate person. Adam and I are, like,
Yeah.
definitely, you know, affectionate, but I just wanna be, like, next to Adam
Mhm.
constantly, which has been I
Yeah.
feel like I've kind of kicked my, like, clinginess up a notch, and I noticed that probably, like, end of the first trimester, my clinginess with my husband has definitely kicked up a notch, which I think is so interesting. Have you had that at all with Peter?
Yes, and it's funny with Peter because we're in quote unquote the honeymoon stage still. So like
Mhm.
I don't know if it's necessarily changed. I'm just more like this morning I came back from the gym and then immediately was hugging him being like, "I can't wait to marry you." Like I'm being such a smush.
Me too.
I have I have heard though that women like post pregnancy that it's or postpartum, excuse me, that they want to kick their husbands like out of the house
Got
immediately.
it,
Like
okay.
and it's a lot of sleep. Like it's like I've heard that it goes from like one to another really quickly. So
So they should enjoy it while it lasts. That's what I'll communicate that. I'll communicate that
yeah.
to my husband, but
Yeah.
yeah, I like to, you know, like, I feel like I'm a very independent woman, and of course, I'm affectionate,
Right.
love my husband so much, but I really have been like,
Yeah.
if we're in the house, like, I would like to be in the same room as him at all times, and I'd like to be in a
Me-
chair directly next to him, and I'm like, "Oh, man," like, I it's something hormonal, it's definitely something with the baby, but it's,
Yeah.
yes, that has been my number one craving is I think just, like, proximity and, closeness with my
Yeah.
dad. So that's my take.
That's really funny. I don't think that people talk about that enough, but it is definitely true. I even just now, Peter was like, I was like, "Oh, what time are you gonna be home later?" And he was like, "Oh, I'll be home like for lunch." And I was like, "Oh my God, great.
That would be
Together."
I understand that. Every day when I'm like, "What time are you getting home?" And Adam will be like, you know, 7. I'm like, "You can't come any earlier?" I'm like, "What is wrong with
Yeah,
I'm gonna be fine." But,
no, totally.
I'm glad we're in that together.
Yeah, and I'm leaving for our wedding. Like I'm leaving for Florida in 2 days. And I'm going home before Peter. I'm going home like a week or I think I'm there even like 10 days before him or something.
Yeah.
And so I keep acting like I'm leaving him for 2 months. I'm like, "I'm leaving for a really long time. Are you gonna handle this?" It's just so true. That's, like, such a thing that people don't talk about.
Definitely.
Um, which reminds me, I feel like the first trimester, there was so many little tiny things that happened where I was like, "Not enough people talk about this." One of the things was the minute I found out I was pregnant, the minute I put 2 and 2 together, I think I was 4 weeks when I put it together. How long were you?
I found out I was pregnant, I think I was around 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
so a little bit after you. I had a little bit of a suspicion, but that was when it was official.
yeah, so early, but the minute I found out I was pregnant, my whole body started to change. And
Mm,
everybody will tell you in your first pregnancy, like, "Oh, you're not gonna show for so long, like, don't worry about it." And, like, yes, you're not showing, and you're still feeling everything, but the way that your body stores fat, stores energy, stores like, the way that it rests, the way that it everything changes. So hormonally, you're like experiencing all these changes, but physically, nobody else can notice it except for you. Like
yeah.
my pants immediately fit differently. I just felt like my fat storage was already like off its rocker. It was going in different places it's never been before.
Yes.
Did you feel that? Like that your body instantly changed?
Yeah, I did feel that way. I felt like there were little things with even my face or,
Yes.
particularly in this region, like it was yeah, it was
Pointing to her chest, you guys.
like that's right. This is a podcast. I almost forgot. But yeah, that was like instant. The minute I found out I was pregnant, and then I was like, oh yeah, I probably should have picked up on this over the last 3 weeks or so because some of those things were happening. But I was like, oh, it's just bloating, or I
Yeah.
got weight around the 4th of July, so I was like, this is just holiday stuff. But it was not just holiday stuff. And then I was always amazed. Immediately when I found out I was pregnant, I got on, the app that kind of tracks week by week and tells you
Yeah.
what fruit your baby is and all of that. And I was always amazed because I'd read at the start of every week the symptoms. And I'd be like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, I only have, I might have one or two of those. And then by the end of the week, I'm like, did they make this happen? Like, is this sort of like manifesting that we're doing? Because I felt like I'd always end up with every single one. And it's makes sense because women have been doing this for a long time. But it's unbelievable to me how accurate the app is in terms of telling me exactly what I'm about to feel.
You're so right. There were things that said it was like, you'll experience a slight headache. And I would be like, oh, I don't really have that yet. And then suddenly it was like my headaches were out of control.
100 and weird, like, your hands may become more red, and I'm like, "Weird." And I'm like, What is this happening?" Like, it's very it's helpful, and then also, going through pregnancy so close to you, Hannah, like, we had that constant thread too, like, "Are you experiencing this? Are you experiencing this?" Uh,
Yeah.
my number 1 symptom first trimester, which I think was a little bit early for the symptom, and it's continued to be my bigger frustration throughout pregnancy is I am peeing all the time.
Oh.
I will pee during this podcast episode.
Hmm.
That is a
Yes.
definite. But that started really early and I've never really been that way. So that was like one of the things that immediately stuck out is like, okay, this is a change and it's actually impacting it impacts your life. That sounds silly, but it's like a change in your everyday that I felt really quickly.
Greatly. It greatly impacts your life. Like, I relate to this heavily. I like to go for long walks. I mean, it's winter, so now my walks are not that long. But especially when I found out I was pregnant in the summer, I would go for long walks. I quickly realized I cannot do that in neighborhoods anymore because your girl has got to pop a squat. And
Like, hello.
hello, can I pee in your yard? Like, that's how I felt. And then I also was getting sick a lot. I think that that's something that people think that you have superpowers, that you're like, people think that your immune system is really strong. But the truth is that it's all going to your baby. It's not going to you
Right,
anymore.
right.
So anytime, like we traveled a bit early on, and of course I'm about to travel again. I'm like a little nervous for it, but whatever. Every time there was like somebody who coughed, it was like I picked it up and I got sick. And the sneezing, the constant sneezing while being pregnant and having to pee became really, really tough. Now, I'm not going to tell you what happened.
Hard combination. Yes, that is trouble. That is troubling.
You could figure it out. It was hard. But every time I see they like cross my legs and Peter's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "You need to know."
Leave me alone. The commentary on walks is so true. I have come up with a couple routes in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Live in Westchester, in New York, and I have like local patrons that I would consider close friends because now I'm like, I know that I can pop into their store. I could pop into their little shop and I'm going to be like, "Can I use your restroom?" And they're going to be fine. But I've now like mapped it out. So every about quarter mile, I have something in close proximity. Which is
Smart.
different than like wandering the neighborhood and looking at nature. Like it changes the vibe, but
Yeah.
it's a strategic planning process that I've put into place.
Yep.
Please don't pop a spot in your neighbor's yards, Hannah. I'm begging
To be like
to come up with a plan.
911. There's a homeless lady outside. Yeah, I think that okay, so definitely peeing a lot was a big one. Are there any other unusual body changes that happened to you in the first trimester?
Yeah.
I would like to start with the fact that you know that I have always I'm just gonna say this. I've always had really like a really small chest. I was not gifted in the department of like, you know, having any sort of cleavage in my life. It's just really never been a thing. The minute I found out I was pregnant, I was like, let's freaking go. I am a new woman. I have this like whole new gift. And I still, that's the only part of my body that's like consistently where I'm like, I'm a freaking 10 right now from the chest up.
You do well, you've been a 10 before and during pregnancy,
So
but yeah, I have not had that issue pre-pregnancy, so I am, like, hating that
Kimmy's
part
quite
of
the opposite.
pregnancy.
Kimmy was very blessed in that department.
Man, I wish that could stop, that would be great. For
But
me,
seconds.
they can stop at any time, that would be wonderful, but it is what it is. Mine
So funny.
and, um, my hair has become so much thicker, which I know that we always talk about in pregnancy. Like, when I think of
Right.
my one thing, I'm like, "Okay, yeah, all these changes are happening that are not so fun," but, like, I can go way longer without washing my hair right now, and I've got, like,
Yeah.
a thickness that's great. So that's been awesome, and actually, I've kind of been thinking to myself I just had a really fascinating conversation with my sister about pregnancy glow. Which
Oh, yeah.
I would love to know if you think that's a myth or not.
It's bullshit. I don't have it. I don't know what it is.
I think pregnancy glow is 3 things. Number 1,
Okay.
pregnant women have much better hair. Like, I think hair theory is a real thing. Like, I think that there's just like everyone's hair is a little bit thicker and better in pregnancy
Yeah.
from what
Longer, lusher, totally.
2 is people aren't drinking, so I think there's probably just, like, a clearness that's there, and then 3 is I think people just wanna support women, so they're like, the minute they hear you're pregnant, they're like, a glow," and I'm like, "No, I'm sweating," right? Or like, that's actually
I'm so funny.
so that's
No, I'm in
very
pain.
those are the 3 things.
Wow. Okay. So I consider the pregnancy glow being completely translucent. I don't know if it's because I'm in deep winter, but if somebody were to say like I'm glowing, it's because I'm actually see through, and you could just see my like the blood behind my skin.
Like Edward Cullen Twilight glowing. You're doing, like
Yes, Edward Cullen glow. The one reason I'm going to Florida early, obviously, is to like with wedding stuff and make sure we're all good to go.
yeah.
I need to sit outside and roast like a rotisserie chicken. Maybe then I'll have a pregnancy glow when I feel like I have some sort of shade on my skin. But like right now, the only time I look in the mirror and think like, oh, maybe that's the glow is like, when you just wake up in the morning and you turn the light on in the bathroom, I see myself in the mirror. I actually could get like a light scream, like it's scary. I'm so
Well,
pale.
Hannah, you're experiencing your first ever Midwest winter, though, is that right? And
Yeah, this is my first
I
real.
put in my Midwest time for
Yeah.
5 winters.
Kimmy worked at Notre Dame for a few years, so you know how it works.
It's different. It's very different. So that is, you need to be wearing only turtlenecks. Like if my turtleneck was not on right now, there is just a line where my bra
A line.
stops. Like it's, but no, it is Midwest winter is a character builder.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree. Character building.
So
Character
you're
development.
building someone's character right now, Hannah. I can just tell. I can just tell.
But actually, though, the glow, like I haven't experienced it. I have also had, and this is a symptom of having a girl. Can we talk about what you're having?
Oh, absolutely. I'm having a boy. Yes. No, no,
Okay.
no, no, totally fine having a boy.
Okay, great. I actually think it was funny when we were talking about the snacks because we were both quintessential what the stigmas are. Like I was craving
Oh,
sweets,
yeah.
you were craving salty. Other than salt and vinegar chips, like there was nothing else that I was craving salty.
Oh, so
Um,
interesting.
it's been like straight sugary carbs.
Yeah.
But anyways, well, why did I go in that direction? What was I just talking about?
Glow.
Oh, I was talking about and the reason I brought that up was because of my acne. My acne has been so bad and it finally stopped. I would say around the 12 to 14 week time,
Right.
it lightened up, but I still will get a blemish that makes me think like I should be sitting at home watching Gossip Girl. Like it makes me feel like I'm 18 again and it's so bad. So I think that's it's a symptom of having a girl or whatever they say, but I just know that I've always struggled with acne. So in my brain, I was like, oh, the minute my hormones go wonky, just gonna get acne again. So that's probably another reason why I never felt like a glow because I would always put on too much makeup to cover the acne that's actually sitting on my face.
Yeah, it's been I have my version of that I think is that my eyelashes interestingly, my hair is growing a lot, but my eyelashes kind of stop growing. I feel like they're really thin. And I've been using like a lash boost, kind of
Wait,
serum
you know what's funny?
years.
Kimmy, you told me about that lash boost stuff and I used it and I swear to God, I stopped using it because I didn't notice
I
anything.
know. I used one that was supposed to be safe for pregnancy, like a different brand, maybe the last couple of months. I thought it was working. I'm sorry I led you astray because it's not doing much for me right now. But I'm not using I'm really simple right now on all things kind of skincare and beauty products because I'm just trying to, be as safe as possible. So I'm basically using like a moisturizer, body oil for stretch mark
Mhm.
prevention, and occasionally I'm using like that serum just to try, but like that's it. So things are really
Yeah.
simple. And I feel like because of that, I've actually kind of enjoyed the nighttime process because it's quick. It's kind of nice. But I am looking forward to like reintroducing retinol and and some of the things like I use a tanning spray in the winter typically that like I think really has been, something I've kind of relied on. So just
Yeah.
aesthetically, I think it's been like, okay, yeah, this is this is simpler process. And
Mhm.
I like parts of it, but then you think about all that, you typically kind of use and it's really different. So it's just an adjustment.
Yeah. This reminds me of like all of those stigmas, like the myths, so like the glow didn't feel real in the first trimester.
Oh,
Um,
was zero glow in the first trimester. That is how I would define it for myself. Yes.
I would say the same thing. I think another one of the funniest things that happened in the first trimester was that I always thought I had a bump. Going back and looking at photos I actually sent photos to family members, like to my aunts that haven't seen in like a year. I sent them photos of my stomach. You guys, Kimmy, you got all these photos too. You got every photo like once a week that I sent. What planet was that on?
No, you looked beautiful. At one point, I showed my sisters because I was sending like a bump photo. I was like, "Oh, and here's Hannah. Like, look how cute." And my sister was like, "For your mental health, don't look at those." I'm like, "That's probably a good suggestion." But I felt the same way. I have these like, you have your album of your phone of all like the little bump
Yeah,
shoots, and I'm like, "Oh man, things have changed. Things have changed."
yeah,
But yes, you do. It's exciting, and you're like pushing out as far as you can. I heard Peter on your last
yeah.
episode giving you a hard time about like you're gonna strain a
That's
muscle
awesome.
from how far you're like pushing out your stomach. I have a lot of those too. And actually I think those will end up being like some of our favorite photos though, because you can just like sense how
Totally.
excited you are and how ready you are to pop.
Yeah,
And now that I have certainly popped, and I know you're starting to now too, Yada,
I definitely popped. Yeah.
it's I miss those days of feeling like super, super cute and having this like little baby bump. But yes, I
Yeah.
think those will be good, cherished memories. And yeah, you have abs still. So
Oh my gosh.
you're rocking a different
No, I
bump than many.
it's weird though because like what week do you feel like you finally popped? Like I feel like I just recently I'm in week 25. Around week 23, 24, 25 was when I felt like, okay, now I look pregnant. Like I sit down and my belly is uncomfortably sticking out. Like
Yeah.
I feel like when I wear a tight shirt, it's evident and I can almost style the bump now. Whereas before it's been very blob heavy. And I do think that that's one of the things it's a myth about girls versus boys, but whatever, it's proven to be a little bit true is that my stomach has been more shaped like a blob and not like a point, whereas
Mhm.
boys can be more pointy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine is I'm carrying very low, and I would say it's a definite it's a little bit of a point. I guess that's a better way of
Yeah.
describing it. But I
So cute.
it is cute. It is cute. I like it.
Yeah.
But I first trimester was very much able to hide it, as most people are. And then I actually, for my job, I work in tennis, and the U.S. Open is kind of our big time of the year. And so
This was so funny. Kimmy was in the thick of first trimester hosting, like, sorry, can I talk about who you have?
yeah, you're hosting
Don't
like having like
Anna Wintour in her tweet. Yes. And having to like, she's sending me photos of like her and the Williams sisters. And I'm like, are you okay? I'm sitting home with my hair up and I'm on my third bag of salt and vinegar chips. I'm like, how are you doing this?
it is my busiest time of year from a work perspective. And you're seeing people that you like want to look good around and that kind of thing. And I'm never
Yeah.
photographed more than I am at the US Open, just because that's when we have our big gala and our big fundraising moments. And I work in philanthropy, so it's a big part of my job.
Mm.
And I'll just say a couple kind of funny things. First of all, like, by the grace of God, 100% by the grace of God, I started my first trimester the second day of the US Open.
Okay.
That, for me, it was clockwork. It was second trimester.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a definite shift. If I was in my first trimester throughout the US Open, I'm sure we would have figured it out, but like, that was God 100% on it from a timing perspective.
So great. I did not realize that.
Yes.
Okay.
And thank goodness. So that was
Yeah.
really helpful. And then two things I'll mention. Number one, opening night of the US Open, we have a big gala. And I actually put this in my post announcing my pregnancy, but my gown I was wearing ripped about 15 minutes before the gala started. And our general counsel for work is in the bathroom sewing my dress. I'm like in a stall at the US Open, just standing there waiting for my dress to be sewn outside. I'm in there for like 20 minutes. That was a humbling pregnancy moment. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
a lot. This is a lot. And then finally, the honeydews at the US Open is the signature drink. It's the one that has
Oh, yeah.
the little, balls, honeydew balls on it. And
That's like the drink you see everyone posting on Instagram.
in the iconic US Open cup. And a lot of times when I go and meet people or at different events, like, you'll get a honeydews because it's the thing to do. I found one bartender that made the most convincing and delicious and non-caffeine virgin honeydews. And I think I fooled everyone with it. Like, and no
Oh
one
my
knows
gosh.
what I was like really hiding the bump strategically. I got this like new wardrobe to try to hide it. And then I had
Yeah.
these virgin honeydews, and I'd go see the guy and I'd order a honeydews and he would like give me a little wink. That guy was my second trimester MVP.
Oh, that is the move. That's such a good idea. You
Yep.
guys, take Kimmy's notes. If you were at a work event, tell the bartender behind the scenes. What if you're still hiding it, that's such a good idea. I love
It was
that.
great. He was so, and honestly, like, I announced to my team, maybe like 2 months later or something, I told my team and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, we had a honeydews together at the US Open. I'm like, we did it. Victor, my guy Victor was hooking me up. So it was, yes, I found some good kind of ways to hide during my busy work season.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe work was so busy for you in that time. I mean, work was busy for me, but I work remotely. So it was like, I remember having to tell certain clients early on because I was getting my dates and times wrong a lot. Like,
Oh, just
have you
long
experienced the
sitting.
pregnancy brain? Yes.
Yeah.
I was just at a party. This is so embarrassing to me, but someone had given me a baby gift at this party. Peter and I went to a holiday party this weekend. Somebody was so kind. They gave me a baby gift. I literally put it down, put my jacket on, leave. I get a text from the host of the of the party being like, by the way, you left the gift here. I didn't even realize it. Kimmy, and I loved the gift, but I'm like, oh my God, that is so rude. I feel so rude, but I truly forgot. And like the amount of times I've lost my phone so far in pregnancy,
Oh,
I feel like I don't lose things. I have literally lost my phone. I've left it in public bathrooms. I've left it in the car. I've left it at home. Like I feel like a mess.
yeah. Yeah. I have been, it's, because I feel like I have a big fear of pregnancy brain. It's definitely,
Mhm.
by the way, like my recognition of things like names or dates and times. That's such a good one. I am writing everything down. Like, I'm always crazy about like my Google Calendar and to-do lists and that
Mhm.
kind of thing. But as my
Yeah.
WhatsApp right now, serial killer. I mean, it looks
Oh.
insane because I am right. I mean, I am writing down everything, just trying to avoid, seeming like I've lost my mind. But it's definitely real and it's harder. And I think you leaving the gift, I'm sure they did not look into that at all. I would not worry.
I know. It's so silly. It was one of those things where it was like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't think I'm
Yeah.
not appreciative, whatever. But yeah, the writing everything down is helpful. What's not helpful is having to do like a wedding registry and a baby registry at the same time. It's
Word.
I'm like swimming upstream. I cannot finish anything on time with all of this stuff. I'm finally working. Are you doing a baby shower?
Yes, doing a baby shower. And I'm so happy you said that. I was just saying this a couple days ago. Finishing my baby registry has been one of the hardest things, like the hardest tasks for me during pregnancy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It seems so overwhelming. I just want somebody to tell me what stroller I should be getting. And there's
Yeah.
so many options. I feel like a business could be somebody who will just be like, okay, tell me a little bit about you and I'm going to make you the perfect baby registry. Maybe that exists.
You're so right. You're so right. Like a wedding planner, but a baby registry planner.
It sounds so lazy, but I'm like, I've been in paralysis of like, okay,
Yeah.
do I want to actually send this out? And it's really hard.
It's this daunting thing that I know I have to research and I haven't had time. The stroller thing is really difficult. I think I've landed on like one that works best for traveling because we'll be going back and forth to Florida quite a bit. But and I think the Duna is the one for that.
Yeah.
But then there's like not a lot of compartments on the Duna. And I'm like, I want to be able to like throw stuff in the farmer's market. And
Yeah.
it's so then I'm like, okay, I have to look at other accessories that come with the Duna. And there's like 20 million ways to carry your baby. It's so overwhelming.
The amount, walking stroller, the regular stroller, the car seat, the bassinet
Mhm.
stroller. I find that to be really overwhelming. And luckily, I feel like one piece of advice I just have not followed is like, I've had so many people be like, don't ask people for advice. Like everyone's going to come
Yeah,
to you for advice. Everybody's going to tell you different things. Like I want
it is.
advice because I feel like women are really helpful and
Yeah.
especially moms like don't want other people to be in the lurch. So I am taking and accepting any and all advice on how I should handle my registry. A couple of my girlfriends have already been like hugely helpful. I went over to my neighbor's house and she is like the world's sweetest person and such a good mom. And she helped me kind of put together about half of it. But
Oh,
it's
that's
not
nice.
it's not an easy process. And I feel like that's probably like the worst thing for a pregnancy brain to have to focus on is like creating this exhaustive list. Not easy.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's really true. The creating the list. And then you're also trying to like find your new identity as a mom. You're like, well, I'm having a girl, but I don't want all pink stuff. I want it to be colorful too.
Right.
And then I'm like, well, is it weird? Will people think she's a boy if I put her in a blue carrier? I like the blue thing in front. Like it's so many weird, stupid questions that you're thinking of all the time. And then I'm like, oh, I need to decorate her room a little bit. But then Peter and I are not going to stay we're currently in an apartment.
That's right.
We're house hunting right now. We're looking for a home. That being said, I'm like, I don't even know what to put in her room, what the room will look like, what shape it'll be like. There's so many questions and I just have to tell myself, our parents survived with none of this crap.
For sure.
And I have to remember that like all of this stuff that people say that you need now is such a different mindset from where our parents were when we were younger. Like having a baby monitor that went to your phone, like they didn't even have that. And that's one of the things that I have on my registry. So it's like, we're going to be good no matter what,
We're gonna be you're so right about that. Yeah, that's a great
we have to tell ourselves that. Yes.
I'm gonna wake up and tell myself that every day. There we go.
One thing I wanted to ask you that I haven't asked you yet is how did you tell people and when did you tell people? Because you have two sisters who already have kids. And I feel like this must have been so exciting for you to share the news with them.
Yes, yes. So I waited a little bit longer to kind of make a announcement, like a more formal announcement. But I told my parents, my in-laws, my, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and my sisters fairly early. It's hard to wait on those conversations. They're so much fun.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, no way.
so
I think I told everyone like week 6 or 8. Like I was not waiting because
You were
I just
going for
needed
it.
support.
Yes, yes. So I actually got to tell both of my sisters who are, my very best friends and
Yeah.
they both are moms and my one of my sisters has a 2-year-old, so she's kind of like, on the heels of going through this process. But I got to tell them both in person separately and their reactions were so funny. Like my sister Christy was bawling, like absolute hysterics. Like I was like, it's good. It's great news. Like it was just like full on ugly crying. I
Yeah.
have a video, which is great. And then
Yeah.
with my oldest sister, Nikki, we were actually had previously, before I knew I was pregnant, planned to go to London for the Oasis concert at Wembley.
Okay.
And
That's where you were. You were in London when yeah.
yes, yes, in London. And so we put together, with our husbands, and they put together this like pub hopping, schedule that they wanted to do. And I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be an interesting one for me. And also I'm like deep in morning sickness and all of that. But it was an amazing trip, and the Oasis concert was sick. So it was totally worth it. But I told my sister, by like ordering a non-alcoholic beer at the bar,
Yeah.
she totally didn't get it. It took her so long to figure out what was happening.
No way.
She was just like, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll do one too." And I was like, "Really? Like, we're in London. You might want to just get like a normal Guinness." And she's like, "No, that actually sounds good. Like, I'll join you." And I was like, "Well, don't you find it bizarre that I'm ordering this?" And she's like, "Nah." And I was like, "Nikki, I'm pregnant." I had to like yell at her. So Christy was like picking up on it right away, and I had to like grab Nikki's face and be like, "I'm not drinking because I am with child." So it was fun seeing their different reactions, and they're going to be amazing aunts, and I'm so excited for them to.
That was early on too, like, because you must have been around, like, week 8 around that.
Yeah, yeah, it was early. It was early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like this thing. Everyone says don't tell people until week 12 or week 16. I've heard all these different weeks. But then when you're in it, I had this mindset of anyone we're telling now, which was my entire inner circle,
Yeah.
which is pretty large. Like it was like all my best friends, obviously my brothers, my parents, my stepdad, some of my cousins, like they're just people who I was like so excited to tell. Um, I thought to myself, all these people would rally if worst case scenario happens. Like all these people would be the support system. Like I would need them for good things and bad things in this
Yeah.
entire trajectory. So like telling them is irrelevant to me. Like I need it all, you know?
I think it's such a, and people say this now, which I think is a good thing, but it's totally based on feel. And
Yeah.
my husband and I did experience pregnancy loss. So it was, we kind of had that background going into this pregnancy, which I do think definitely impacts your mindset, in a number of
Oh,
different ways.
100%.
But still, I mean, it was exactly what you said. Like there's no world where my sisters aren't going to be people that I heavily lean on, or my parents or my in-laws or you or
Yeah.
my closest friends. So yeah, I mean, I think those are such fun conversations, and uh, we have like the funniest videos of people getting it or not getting it or crying or like having like a really blank reaction where you're like, "Is that it? Can we get some more?" But it's such a fun part of the pregnancy process, is like kind of figuring out your announcement.
This is a strange question. Mentally, did you feel like you had any battles with in your first trimester? Like mental health wise, how were you in your first trimester through all of the roller coaster ups and downs?
Yeah, I think you have a worry, right? And you hear about this a lot with moms, but like especially at night for me, like I feel like if I'm up at night, like my brain will kind of go down, like just worrying. Which I guess I was talking to somebody recently, and they're like, "Well, that's gonna never go away. Like that's being a mom for the rest of
Yep.
your life." And I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah, I've heard about
That is
that
true.
for a while." But I feel
Yeah.
like there's just worrying, and I what I thought was kind of hardest, and I guess maybe to go back to what you were saying about identity, I feel like I am a really positive person, and I typically am in like a really good mood, and I feel good, and every day is fun, and like like not perfect, but I just feel like generally like I have like a pretty optimistic outlook
Yeah.
each day. And waking up not feeling very well, or having this like underlying worry of like, are things going to be okay? Like that's typically not how I am. So it's
Yeah.
make me feel like, okay, am I becoming like a negative person? I don't really like
Yeah.
complain very much, but now I'm like complaining all the time to my parents and my husband and my friends. So I almost was like, oh no, is this going to change me in like a really negative way? Which I
Oh, really?
think I've turned that corner a little bit more.
Yeah.
But some of those things like worry and complaining and just feeling negative or bad, like I'm just not very used to that. So I think I didn't like that in the first trimester, because it just felt kind of foreign. Um,
Yeah.
but a piece of advice that my sister gave me that I thought was so good and so true is that just as things kind of get hardest throughout pregnancy, and she said it kind of continues on with being a mom, like just when you get to a point where you're like, how much longer can I take this stage?
Yeah.
You're on to the next one. She's like, there are so many stages and there are so many checkpoints that like just when you kind of get to like, oh man, like can I handle this anymore? Like you're onto a new stage. Um, so I believe that, and that's been true throughout pregnancy for me, but that's kind of been the hardest, I think, identity um element to tackle.
That's such a good way of looking at things because it is true. And then you completely forget about whatever you were worrying about. It's fascinating.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how that happens. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you talked about that mental shift of like just feeling heavier. And I'm not talking physically heavier, but like emotionally heavier and
Yeah,
almost feeling like a darkness. And I was like, where is this coming from? This isn't me. And I
absolutely.
think it's the roots of it were the fact that I am an energizer bunny, just like you. You like, I'm
That's
up
awesome.
in the morning, up and at 'em. Yeah, like want to go do a million things, want to talk to everyone, want to go socialize, like want to, be a gal about town. And pregnancy just made me like, especially the first trimester, it hits you hard with this thing of like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want anyone to look at me. I don't want to talk to people. I
Right.
don't want like, I don't wanna be chummy with the person at the grocery store, like, I just wanna sit at home by myself, get my work done, and, like, sort of survive, and I felt like, "How long is this gonna last?" Like, I just wanted to feel like myself again.
Like yourself.
Um,
Yeah.
and then you're feeling all these physical changes, like, I'm like, "I can't wear my normal outfits because I look like I've let myself go."
I'm
I
in
had
total denial about that, by the way. The amount of times I'm trying on something and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah." I just packed for Thanksgiving without really I went to my sister's house in Houston and without really trying anything on. Like, complete illusion with what I packed. I had to, like, go and purchase completely new items. It's hard to wrap your head around, I think.
Oh my gosh, have you gone into, like, maternity wear yet?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm deep in it. Yes, and we're
Yeah, okay.
leave for my baby moon tomorrow, and again, I was like,
Oh,
"Okay, I wanna put together enough, kinda outfits for the beach." Absolutely not. Total,
no.
complete denial. I have a huge baby bump, so, I just did, like, a mass Amazon haul of stuff that
Yeah.
can get here in 48 hours. But, yeah, are you full on maternity wear at this point or partial?
But I was looking up, like, linen pants, I just need stretchy things.
Yeah, yep, all the
So
stretchy.
that's what I'm looking at. But yeah, my mental shift was the lack of energy. It was my clothes fitting weird and just body stuff in general. I think a lot of it was because I was, I had like 1 week of visualizing the wedding that
Yeah.
at least like how I thought I would look at my wedding. And then I had to change my brain. And for a long time, I had this sort of sense of shame of like, I'm out of order and this isn't how it's supposed to happen. And every person on the internet is like a Pinterest bride, or they look like these, Barbie doll brides. And you visualize the same thing for yourself. Every wedding dress in the world has like a slim waist. And so I remember having to go, my mom really wanted to go bridal shopping. Oh my God, I was such a brat. I walked in and I was with my future mother-in-law, my future sister-in-law, and her daughter, and everyone was so sweet, and they knew that I was just, like, gonna come in being the devil. Like, I was in a bad mood to begin with because I just, like, didn't wanna try on dresses, and the woman was just bringing dresses. I immediately was like, "I cannot have anything that cinches at the waist because I don't like the idea of hiding a bump, like, I wanna be able to celebrate the bump." Whatever. That finally ended of this thing of feeling like, "Woe is me." That whole mentality, thankfully, has left the station
Agreed.
because it was insane. Like, I don't know how I was thinking that way, but it was completely a hormonal thing, and I have to give myself grace with that. Um, and thank you to my therapist for helping me with that. It's like the whole, Christianity of me being out of order and then feeling shame in that, but then also shame in you look at photos of your mom from her wedding and she's like her smallest size and looking so beautiful. And I was like,
Well,
how
well,
that?
think about I'm sure you've thought about this, but think about your daughter looking at your wedding photos and how
Exactly.
cool that is going to be and how special that's going to be for her that, she's
Yeah,
going to be able to see herself and she's going to, be such a part of the wedding. Like, I think that's
totally.
unbelievable. I think that's going to be so special. And, um, yeah,
Yeah.
I know. But I think all of those feelings are unbelievably valid, right? Like, it's exactly what you said. You were picturing one thing and then it's going to be different. But I think it's gonna be so beautiful. You're gonna look I mean, you are going to look stunning, that is a fact.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
I
just
just
have
sort of
all of your pregnant girlfriends, like, around you. We're gonna create this little pregnancy pod. Like, I
we
think
have a
wedding photos are gonna be amazing.
I'm lucky in the fact that I have like 4 of my best friends are also pregnant right now. So it's fantastic.
I
It's
want
like so
exact
fun.
signs come back. It's
Yeah.
quite amazing.
But yeah, all of that to say, I feel bad that I just like went down that rabbit hole. I feel very lucky and like so blessed that I'm going to be with child at this wedding. And I think it's going to make it so much more magical. And it's like,
Definitely.
it's very much, I remind myself, this is so God to give me this thing. And it's a beautiful gift, but it's in a package that I didn't expect,
Yeah,
you know? So
absolutely. Absolutely.
it's just how it works.
Well,
Yeah.
I think for you to go through that process is healthy and,
Yeah.
makes total sense. And it sounds like you've landed at a spot where, you have a really good mentality about it, which I think you totally should.
Okay. Quick thoughts about third trimester. I know you're entering into this stage. Is there anything that you're bracing yourself for? And like, what are you most excited for in this process?
Okay, bracing myself. I just 2 nights ago had my first um calf cramp in the middle of the night, which like Hannah, humbling. I am still so sore. I woke Adam up screaming. I was screaming. And then, like, fast forward 20 minutes later, I'm sitting drinking like an electrolyte packet, eating this massive banana on the side of my bed, like just questioning life. Terrible, terrible. Brace yourself. I just heard like pickle juice, electrolytes, all the things. Like, I guess this is a very real third trimester symptom. Wow. That one hit me. So that's oh wow. And then then on the positive side, looking at it a little more optimistically, I feel like I've just entered now as I'm like again about to kind of step into my third trimester in the next couple of days. I feel like now at the point where everybody knows I'm pregnant. Like I last night, was at an event and several people just came up to me and asked me questions about being pregnant.
Oh, that's so
Which
nice.
actually is nice because I do think there's like, as somebody who's a Metro North girly, right? I go back and forth
Yeah.
between Grand Central and Westchester. Like, I do feel like I might be entering the stage of like people letting me sit down and things like that.
Hell yeah.
Who are so nice to you and so accommodating. So it is kind of good to be past that stage of like, is she, isn't she? And I'm looking forward to just like, yes, I'm obviously pregnant. Please be
Yeah.
kind to me. Basically.
Please let me sit.
Yeah, I had to eat a banana on the side of my bed at 3 a.m. last night. Like, please let me. I earned this. So yeah, that would be my positive and my kind of more negative outlook on third trimester.
That's so funny. I have so many reactions to what you just said. I'm traveling soon. I'm flying soon. And this, what you just said reminded me. I had a thought. I was like, note to self. I have to bring my wedding gown on the plane. I have to like hang it up and ask them to politely hang it in the front, whatever. And I was like, note to self, Hannah, wear leggings and like a tight shirt on this plane. So people will
100%.
let you like
100%.
feel this. But I'm I'm not quite there. Like it's still kind of blah, but I'm really hoping if I just sort of sit there and like rub my belly that people will be like, "Oh, what are you
Yeah.
do?"
And
I would literally
just
kiss
tell
someone.
people because you're gonna need somebody to put your bag up. You're gonna need. I've
Yeah.
traveled a good amount for work and personal over the last several months, but I am just the minute I get on the plane, I'm like, I am pregnant. We need
Yeah.
this help me with this one. But it just and then when I get up 5 times to go to the restroom and things like that, I feel like it just everyone gives you a little bit more grace.
Yeah.
So just announce,
That is true.
just let people know. I feel like it's
Okay.
a good time to be vocal.
Find a buddy system.
Totally, totally.
Yeah. I'm also at the stage where now realizing I've just hit that. Like I said this to Peter a few days ago. I was like, you know what's crazy is like I have to get this thing out of me.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh
this thing has to come out of me. I think every pregnant woman has that thought. It sounds crazy, but that deep realization of like, oh, I have to actually give birth. That has to come out of me, and I have to figure out how I'm going to do that. So we're just now having those conversations of like, what are we going to bring to the hospital? What's
right,
that going to look
right.
like?
The whole plan.
And I'm still. People are like, have you taken the trips to the hospital together? Like, yes, we've done that because we had appointments there, and it's been fine. But that's been something that I think is really funny.
I think my brain has kind of blocked myself from going too far down that path.
Yeah,
But it also, for some reason, that's not something that has been a stressor. Like I feel like we will be ready
good.
when we get there, and
Agree.
we will figure it out. But yeah, that is a reality. It feels like pregnancy is such a thing, and there's a big finale to the pregnancy journey.
I'm really looking forward to right after I give birth, where I could just like sit in the hospital and like just embrace the new chapter that's unfolding. I'm also really looking forward to not being out of breath every time I talk to people. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
constantly like right now, I feel like I have to stop and take some deep breaths and like breathe And this is my karma because I used to talk to my best friend Peyton on the phone all the time. And when she was pregnant, I would be like, why are you out of breath? Like, aren't you walking to the mailbox? She's like,
And she
you're
was like, "Are you kidding me?"
I'm pregnant. I just didn't know. So now every time I talk to her, she's laughing at me because I'm like popping a squat in the woods and I'm out of breath while I'm doing it. So
In your neighbor's yard, right? It's
my
you
new
deserve
right.
it.
Yeah.
Deserve it.
Oh my gosh. Well, Kimmy, this was so great. I won't keep you any longer. I could talk like truly for hours about first trimester woes, but it's been so nice to count all of our blessings together. And I'm just so happy to have you in this experience with me. And I'm going to see you so soon.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you. And I'm so honored to be on Hey Hannah. I've loved the first episodes. I can't believe I'm following Peter. I have to say that. And my nickname for Peter is I'm calling him the Snow White Groom because of his fantasies of animals and deer at the wedding. I was like belly laughing listening to him talk about that in your last episode. So what an honor to follow Peter. And I will just say one thing about Hey Hannah is I was thinking about how we always talk about how we like grew up. We grew up with Taylor Swift, right? Like we love Taylor Swift music because as she was going through different stages, we were going through those stages. And now I feel like Hey Hannah is the same. I'm growing up with Hey Hannah podcast. You're just like Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus to me, which is a big compliment coming from me. So I love it.
Oh my God.
So happy. This was such a fun conversation. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, Kimmy, that's the kindest thing ever. I know what you mean about, we always say, I liked Taylor Swift when I was 16 because I too was crying teardrops on my guitar when the guy didn't talk to me anymore, like totally. So thank you for that. I'm like really so happy. Your first call after you have your beautiful baby boy will be to all of your family. And then afterwards it'll be to me and you have to give me a play-by-play of like what the heck I'm about to get myself into. I love you so much, but I will see you soon.
Love you too. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Okay. Bye, friend.